Hello guys, welcome to my new studying channel, and for the start we're going to solve a circuit problem basing on Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law multi-loops. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe for more studying videos basing on Thevenin's and Norton theorem, digital electronics, and more other studying videos. Don't forget to comment. Your comments are very important. And by starting, we're going to solve the following example. The question says, find the current through 8 ohms. It means we have to find the current which is passing through this resistance. Because we're going to solve by using Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law, we have to understand those two principles because those are the main principles which are going to guide us. And for the start, we're going to divide the current. You can choose any source. We can use 24 voltage source, 20 source, or 10 source. You can choose any source. You can choose any source which you're comfortable with, as long as you'll be very accurate in division of the current. By starting with division of current, since we have choose 24 voltage as our source, it means the current will flow from this side, as long as we know the charges always flow from the positive side. So our current will start flowing from here. From here, we will name this current as current 1. So the current from 24 voltage source to direct to the whole circuit will be current 1. We're naming this current 1. It means the current from this source which will pass here will pass to the 10 ohms. It will be the current 1. Here the current will be dividing, and basing on Kirchhoff current law, which says the current at the sum of the current entering and leaving the junction will be equal to 0. It means the current at the junction is 0. Since the current is 0, it means the sum of the current which will go this side and the sum of the current which will go in this side and this side will be equal to current 1. Therefore, this will be current 2, and the current which will flow at this side downstairs will be current 1 minus current 2. The sum of current 1 minus current 2 will be equal to current 1. That is the application of Kirchhoff current law. After dividing on this side, the current will flow through 12 ohms and then will be divided again at this junction. At this junction, we'll have current 3, and at this junction, we'll have current 2 minus current 3. The sum of current 3 plus current 2 minus current 3 will be equal to current 2. That is what our law says. After this simple division, this will be the end of Kirchhoff current law division. As we can see, this is current 3, which will pass through 5 resistance and 8 resistance, will flow up to this junction, which will meet the current which will be flowing from 2 ohm, which is current 2 minus current 3, and the sum of it will be equal to current 2, which will flow to this side up to this junction, which will meet the current 1 minus current 2. The sum of current 1 minus current 2 plus current 2 will be equal to current 1. Therefore, the current which will be entering at this source will be equal to current 1. The division of current is so important. You have to be very accurate. You have to be very careful. This is based on Kirchhoff current law. And after that, we have to create loops. There is no a specific law of creating loops. You just create loops like this. This will be my first loop. This will be my second loop, and this will be my third loop. The loop can go on any side as long as you will be very accurate and careful once you're using Kirchhoff voltage law. On these loops, by using the loops, we have to understand two things. The first one is when the loop, let's say this is the loop, this is the sign of the loop. When the loop is going the same side as the flow of current, the loop is going the same side. This is the loop, this is the current, the flow of current. When the loop and the current are going on the same side, the sign will be minus. And when the loop is going opposite side to the flow of current, the sign would be plus. So, and the vice versa is true. When the loop is going opposite to the current. That was the first thing. The second thing which we need to know before going down to the equations is the sign of voltage or the source. The sign of the voltage or the source will be depending on the loop direction. For example, this is our source, and the loop direction is this. And the loop direction is this. I'm sorry for the loop. It means our sign or the sign which we'll be using will be positive. We're saying, the easy way to remember the sign is the loop is going from negative to positive, so the sign is positive. And for example, this is our source, and the loop is going this way. It means the sign will be negative. The easy way to remember, we're saying that the loop is going from positive to negative, so the sign will be negative. After knowing this, now we're going down to the questions. And as we know, our question says we have to find the current which is passing through 8 ohms. It means we have to find the value of current 3. And another thing which we need to know is the number of loops will be equal to the number of equations. So the number of loops and the number of equations are equal. Number of loops equations. So the number of loops is equal to number of equations. So here we'll have 3 equations. This will be the first equation, second, and the third equation. Also, we have to remember this simple formula of voltage, which is voltage is equal to current times resistance, because we're going to deal with Kirchhoff voltage law in finding our equation. So going down to our equation, our first equation will be depending on this loop. So our first equation will be 24 voltage, but 24 voltage will be positive because of the direction of our loop. It means the loop is going from negative to positive. So our 24 voltage will be positive. 24 voltage, which is positive. Going down to this resistance, we have 10 ohm, but we can't write 10 ohm because it is resistance. We have to find it in the term of voltage. So in order to find the voltage across this resistance, it means we need to take this 10 ohm times this 10 ohm, which is resistance, times the current which is passing through this resistance. And the current which is passing through this resistance is current 1. So we have, and the sign will be negative because the loop is going this direction and the current is going the same direction as you remember, when the current and the loop are going the same direction, the sign will be negative. So our sign here will be minus 10 current 1. So it will be minus 10 current 1. Then we're going down to this resistance because this loop is including this resistance and this resistance. So the voltage which is crossing this resistance will be equal to 6 times current 1 minus current 2. And the sign will be minus because the loop is going the same direction as the flow of current. So minus 6 current 1 minus current 2. This equation will be equal to 0, as Kirchhoff voltage law says that the voltage across the circuit, the sum of the voltage across the circuit or across the loop is equal to 0. So dealing with Kirchhoff voltage law, this equation will be equal to 0. It means the voltage across this loop is equal to 0. As you can see, this is the voltage source, this is our voltage, because this is resistance times current, which is equal to voltage. The sum of the voltage across this loop is equal to 0. This is our first equation. Our second equation will be given with this second loop here. With this second loop here. Starting from here, we have 6 ohm, but this 6 ohm, in order to make it to be voltage, it means we have to take this 6 ohm times current 1 minus current 2, and the direction of the current and the loop is opposite. The loop is going this direction while the current is going this direction, so the sign will be positive. Here we have 6 current 1 minus current 2. Going on to this resistance, we have 12 ohm times current 2, but the sign will be negative because direction of the current and direction of the loop is the same. So we have minus 12 current 2. Going on to this resistance, we have 2 ohm times the current which is passing through this resistance. We have 2 current 2 minus current 3, but the direction of the current and the loop is the same, so it is minus 2 current 2 minus current 3. But this loop is going up to this source, which the sign will be depending on the direction of the loop, and the loop shows us that the sign will be positive because the current is passing from negative to positive. So this will be positive plus 20 volts is equal to 0. This will be our second equation. And our last equation, our third equation. So our last equation will be depending on this loop, which will give us 2 ohms times current 2 minus current 3 will be equal to 2 ohm I2 minus I3, but the sign will be positive because direction of the loop and direction of the current is opposite. Minus 5 current 3 because the direction of the loop and direction of the current is the same, so the sign will be minus 5 current 3, the current which is passing through this resistance and which is the same as the current which is passing through 8 resistance, which will give us 8 current 3 plus the source, which is 10 volts. The sign will be positive. As we can see, the loop shows as is from negative to positive, so the sign will be positive. As we all know that the question says that we have to find the current which is passing through this resistance, and that means we have to find the current 3, which is this current, because the current which is passing from at this resistance is the same as the current which is passing through this resistance. So we have to find current 3, and as we can see from this question, we have 3 unknowns. We have current 1, we have current 2, and current 3. So we have to collect like terms from each equation. As you can see from the first equation, we have to collect this current 1 different with this current 2. At the second equation, current 1, current 2, and the current 3 differently. And at the third equation, current 2 and current 3 differently. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. Your comments are very important, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's part of the language. English is not my mother tongue, so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.